Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of NAHL Coaches Corner. I am Alex Kyrias. Today we sit down and chat with the new head coach of the Odessa Jackalopes, Jason Fortier. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here on your NAHL debut. I know it's been a crazy off season, a crazy summer. You're joining the Jackalopes from the BCHL, Coach of the Year up there, so congratulations to that. But I want to start with the hiring process with the Odessa Jackalopes, obviously a team that's been in the NAHL a while and the always tough Southern Division. I first have to ask you, how did you get wind of the job, and what made it enticing for you to inquire and ultimately get the position?
Yeah, it was quite a whirlwind, actually. I have a friend that's a director of player personnel, Timmy Christian, and he had reached out to me while my season was going on, and I kind of said, "Well, when the season's over, I'll make a decision on where I'm going to be." And as a staff, we knew in January we weren't returning to Coquitlam, so we knew this was our last hurrah in the BCHL that year. And I had other BCHL teams reach out. There were other North American League teams, a couple of USHL. Obviously then there's Major Junior, but I had already done a tour of a few of the North American League arenas. I was fortunate enough to, speak to the ownership group in Odessa and find what their vision was and, what they're hoping to achieve. And I think they felt like my talents of coaching and maybe developing and promoting players to college was something they were looking for. Their talents of, having a great facility and doing things what I consider to be the right way is something very important and near and dear to my heart. So after speaking with a few of the executives there, and Don Stone made it pretty clear when the season was over for me that he wasn't going to take no for an answer, and he was very optimistic about the chances for the Odessa Jackalopes to make a triumphant return to the league. And that's the mindset right now. It's rebrand, rebuild, and then retool.
Well, you're obviously new to the NAHL, but not new to junior hockey at all. And I'm wondering, from where you're coming from, what type of reputation does the NAHL have in junior hockey circles, particularly in Canada? Of course, we know kind of where we stand here in the United States and the USA Hockey umbrella. Basically one of the two leagues that's non-pay to play, 330 plus NCAA commitments a year. But I'm wondering, as a quote-unquote outsider that's now coming in, what's the reputation of the league out there?
Well, I think those in the hockey circles that are in the elite circles, I think everyone always talks about the big three: the USHL, BCHL, North American League. Those are the three that come to mind the most. And then, there's, and it's not to take away any league out of Canada or any league, BCHL versus the NAHL. I don't believe there's a competition side of it because you don't play each other at the end. There's no way to test which league's better. Coming from Canada, I know I was in Toronto for a number of years, and everyone always talked about the BCHL. It was the best league. I didn't really buy it personally, but then coaching out there, yeah, it was definitely a better league. It was well run. There's a lot of positives there, and speaking with players that have been in the NAHL, speaking to coaches that have been in the NAHL, and it seems like they run the programs, the mindset, the culture driven of fitness, workouts, video, staff around you. It seems very, mimicking of what the BCHL offers its players. So I think there's going to be a lot of continuity in that, but I also think the NAHL has a really good reputation of being it's basically all across the U.S. National League, and BC is more of a provincial league, and it's not to take anything away from either of them. I just know that from talking to NHL guys, talking to NAHL coaches, talking to college recruiters, they all thought that the decision to go to the North American Hockey League would be something that I really enjoyed, and they thought the league has made a lot of steps over the last 5 years that it's basically benchmark for the future. Seems really really optimistic.
One of the things that remains constant among these top leagues, particularly as it relates to the NAHL, is the NCAA commitment component. And I think any coach that would ask says that basically is his number one priority, is making sure that the players that come to his team end up with some NCAA commitment. I'm wondering if that is true for you when you head to Odessa, if that is your number one priority in making sure that these players advance to the NCAA.
Well, the easy answer would be like 100%. That's the number one priority, but that would be a lie. I believe in building a culture and a program and building relationships with the players that, that's going to move on well beyond just a 4-year education. Now, we want to have every player go on to college. Whether it's going to happen or not, that's going to be solely up to them. I know as a coach, the last 2 seasons, I think our program that I was with had 35, 36 college commitments. That's D1, 33 or 32 D1s, and then Canadian University. So we take pride in the work we put in. But we wouldn't be able to recruit or promote these kids for the recruiting coaches unless we had a good program, unless we had a good culture, unless we had a good foundation. So that's the premise that we're going to focus on is if you build that program, if you have it where the players understand what it takes to be successful, then the college guys will come to get your players. They'll come in and understand, hey, if this coach runs a program this way and we take one of their players, maybe the bridge between, success is going to be a little bit quicker than, say, that of a player in a program that might be a little bit less, maybe a little bit less detailed, or maybe the expectations are a little bit lower. I take pride in having high expectations. I believe that if we're going to have a hockey program, every day we come to try and win. But that's something we laugh about because the process is something we're focused on, and we really don't say the word win. We just think if you do the process and take care of all the little details, the wins will take care of themselves.
Obviously, a new opportunity in Odessa for you. I'm wondering, obviously, it's only July. You don't really know yet what your team is going to look like. You have coming up some tryouts. You have the NAHL entry draft coming up on July 21st. But I'm wondering, what type of team can we expect to see on the ice? Have you set any goals here early on for the Jackalopes?
Well, it's an interesting time. Obviously, COVID's put a wrench in a lot of the people's, plans and how we're going about recruiting and what we can recruit. Are there going to be imports? So I've never been one to really start the year with a fixed goal. I feel like why set a goal that's going to be a fixture? We're going to try and win every game regardless. But one thing that, I think we're going to try and achieve is grab a little bit more of an exciting brand, try and play a little bit faster. Be a little bit more puck possession. Try and become a team that's going to have some rigidity to their game. Be a team that's not going to be an easy team to play against. We're going to compete. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to have good character. We're going to have good players and good people in our organization. But we also want to have guys that have a little bit of combative spirit. So we'll see how we can field that. We still got open spots and there's tryouts coming up, and then we have that draft. So we're still looking for probably 5 or 6 guys to round out that lineup. And, I think we're not the only team. There's probably quite a few in our position, especially with the uncertainty within the COVID.
Well, all great answers, and certainly good to talk to you and meet you for the first time. I know that the draft day is going to be an exciting one as you get to kind of put your first stamp on things there in Odessa, but it certainly is a team with a rich tradition, some players in the NCAA, now NHL, and we certainly look forward to seeing what the Odessa Jackalopes look like with Jason Fortier behind the bench. So congratulations again on the position, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely. That's Jason Fortier, the new head coach of the Odessa Jackalopes, here on another edition of NAHL Coaches Corner.